Date, August 6, 1945. Time, 8:15 a.m. A moment that changed humanity forever. In just a few seconds, a blinding flash of light erased an entire city and millions of lives from the face of Japan. That morning, Hiroshima woke up like any other day. People heading to work, children walking to school. Life as usual moved in rhythm. And then, it fell from the sky. Something small, metallic, silent, descending fast. And then, a flash. A massive fireball rose over the city. Smoke, chaos, screams, and then silence. For a moment, it felt as if the sun itself had fallen to earth. At ground zero, temperatures soared to nearly 4,000 degrees Celsius. Just 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, another bomb fell, this time on Nagasaki. Within days, Japan surrendered, and the Second World War, the deadliest conflict in human history, came to its end. But to understand how the world reached this point, we must go back to the scars left behind by World War I. After the First World War, the world had promised peace. The League of Nations was formed, an organization meant to prevent another global war. But peace is fragile, especially when built on anger and humiliation. Germany, once a powerful empire, was now broken. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, stripped it of its pride, its land, and its army. Germany was forced to accept full responsibility for the war and pay a staggering £6.6 billion in reparations. Its economy collapsed, unemployment soared, money lost its meaning. At one point, children played with bundles of worthless banknotes, while families starved to death. The people of Germany were humiliated, angry, desperate, and desperation is where monsters are born. In this chaos rose a man, Adolf Hitler, a failed artist, a soldier wounded in the Great War, a man who promised revenge. He told his people, "We will rise again. We will defy the Treaty of Versailles. We will rebuild Germany and reclaim our destiny." And the people believed him. In 1933, Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Soon after, he passed the Enabling Act, giving himself absolute power. Germany was no longer a democracy. It was now a dictatorship. Hitler rebuilt the army, withdrew from the League of Nations, and began reclaiming lost territories. He remilitarized the Rhineland, annexed Austria, and seized Czechoslovakia. His ambition grew larger with every victory. He wanted all of Europe and the world under the Nazi flag. On September 1, 1939, Hitler invaded Poland. To justify it, he used deceit. German soldiers disguised in Polish uniforms staged fake attacks to claim Poland had struck first. Within hours, German tanks rolled across Polish borders. And just 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany. The Second World War had begun. Soon, Italy and Japan joined Germany, forming the Axis powers. On the other side stood the Allies: Britain, France, the Soviet Union, China, and later the United States. Europe was once again at war. Germany moved fast, ruthless and strategic. In 1940, it invaded Denmark and Norway, then turned toward France. France surrendered. The world watched in disbelief. Hitler was unstoppable. Britain now stood alone. In the summer of 1940, the Battle of Britain began, the first major air war in history. German bombers darkened the skies over London, but the Royal Air Force held strong. Hitler's dream of conquering Britain failed, so he turned his eyes east. Operation Barbarossa, June 22, 1941. Hitler betrayed his pact with Stalin and launched the largest invasion in human history against the Soviet Union. Millions of German troops crossed the border. At first, victory seemed certain. City after city fell to the Nazis. But then came the Russian winter. Temperatures plunged below freezing. German tanks froze, soldiers starved, and for the first time the Nazi war machine began to crack. The Soviet counterattack was brutal, driving German forces all the way back to Berlin. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, another storm was brewing. December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Japan attacked the US naval base in Hawaii, destroying ships and killing thousands. The next day, America entered the war. The world was now truly at war, from Europe to Africa, from the Pacific to the Atlantic. As Allied forces pushed into Europe, Hitler's empire began to crumble. By 1945, the Soviet army surrounded Berlin. Hitler refused to surrender. He hid in his bunker, deep beneath the city. And when defeat became inevitable, he took his own life. The dictator who promised a 1,000-year Reich was gone in just 12. Germany surrendered soon after, but the war was not yet over. Japan still fought on. In response, the United States unleashed a weapon unlike anything the world had ever seen, the atomic bomb. First on Hiroshima, then on Nagasaki. Cities vanished in fire. Tens of thousands died instantly, and millions more would suffer for decades to come. On August 15, 1945, Japan finally surrendered. The Second World War was over. In just 6 years, between 1939 and 1945, more than 80 million lives were lost. Soldiers, civilians, children. The world had witnessed the depths of human cruelty and the cost of unbridled power. From the ashes of that destruction, a new order emerged. The United Nations, created to ensure that such horror would never return. But as history shows, peace is never permanent, because war always begins in the hearts of men.